So what the outcome of, as stated during the former presentation, we developed a deep analysis based on both a deep desk research, which also is synthesized in one paper that we published last summer, and a survey concerning the current state of industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency in the different sector of Spire, comprised in Spire-Sais. And we found that there are main outcomes in both these fields, including, for instance, for industrial symbiosis, the use of recycling products, the offers of new and market solutions, and for let's say, for exploiting such products, and the fact that the data management and digitalization help industrial symbiosis, or the fact that regional support is needed for sustainable development in order to guide local and regional authorities to promote the dialogue and the cooperation between the companies and between the companies and their stakeholders, and also to ensure that the regional action plan supports this. And as far as energy efficiency, which it turned out to be a little bit more known topic, we highlighted all the new technology systems and synergies that are implemented by companies to optimize energy consumption and production efficiency, and all the technology developments, and also the transferring of such outcome from one sector to other ones in order to develop energy efficiency solutions. So a next step to these developments that are some skill needs have been highlighted. So an adjustment of the workforce based mainly on enforcing the multidisciplinary approach, and I would say the multidisciplinary attitude of people, encompassing green, digital skills, technical and soft skills, and also this workforce adjustment is needed to manage the complexity of the cross-sectorial cooperation. And especially for industrial symbiosis, relevant skills that have been highlighted so far are communication and information, co-creation and cooperation, and I would say, in synthesis, open mind attitude to manage the diversity, to understand the diversity of the different stakeholders and counterparts. Obviously, know-how on materials recycling, and also the let's say the capability to foster financial attractive paths, having a strong impact on the environment. And we are in progress of creating a profile which is named the Industrial Symbiosis Facilitator, with capability in terms of new skill for networking, collaboration, system thinking, but also regulatory skills, which might have also skills for waste and recycling, but entrepreneurship, management skills, MFA, LCA. Clearly, all this kind of skill cannot be probably collected by one person, but the idea is having some kind of profile to help the companies in implementing and facilitating industrial symbiosis practice. Especially, we have highlighted, as I said, energy skill needs also for energy efficiency, especially related to the transition of the low carbon economy, and skills that allow people to manage managerial and technological challenges, apart from specific skills related to the sector where you have to implement energy efficiency. Energy efficiencies need to be integrated as an objective and as a way and as a way of behaving in all the operational practice as a form of continuous process. And there clearly an interdisciplinary knowledge is needed related to energy management, use, exploitation of renewable energy sources, auditing, trading, as well as production planning and maintenance, because we have highlighted that, also a careful planning of the production can help energy efficiency. You can produce the same thing sparing energy only because you manage your product. And we developed an overview of the current technological technological situation and skills situation, where we highlighted the main barriers for energy efficiency and industrial symbiosis in the process industry. And we pointed out that the current training measures concerning this topic are mostly non-formal and unstructured, mainly based on internal and external training activities. And these need to be enforced for the future. There are a set of skill needs which need to be updated in the coming 3 to 5 years that are related to the topics that are listed here. And what we are doing now, and we are committed for the future, is an analysis of the future trends to define the future scenario for the process industry in the next 5 to 10 years. And we need to consider the particular context in which we are, let's say, we found ourselves now. We foresee an increasing uptake of in the industrial symbiosis energy efficiency due to both raw material scarcity and decarbonization of industrial processes, as well as stricter environmental policies. So we firstly will look at the foreseen developments inside each sector, and then we will elaborate the strengthening of the, let's say, connection between the different sectors and the possible interaction. And now, in order to do this analysis of the future scenario, we also, let's say, need your help in some sense. So we want to stimulate you with some questions, and that will be put also will be available on our Miro board. These are basically the 3 questions we kindly ask you to answer. Obviously, we want to enforce the discussion, also the live discussion on this point, but as we are a quite relevant number, we also kindly ask you to put your suggestion and suggested answer on the Miro board. Clara, if you can help us.
Yes, I put the link into the chat, so you just need to click on it so it opens up in your browser. And then I would ask you to enter the Miro board and look at the 3 questions that Valentina prepared. Valentina, would you like to to tell us? Questions?
Sorry, I have a technical problem with my presentation again.
Okay, I can share the Miro board itself. You can already start leaving sticky notes with your comments, ideas, topics.
Are you going to share the Miro board vision, Clara?
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, then I don't need to share the presentation, but I can see the discussion, the free question. So we want to have your suggestion on which are the actions that can further promote industrial symbiosis. In our analysis, we pointed out that the concept of industrial symbiosis is clearly more recent than the concept of energy efficiency, and also, let's say, less investigated, less understood, also in the workforce with respect to energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is clearly a topic that is, let's say, well known since many years in process industry. It's, let's say, very strongly related to the cost of the production. So naturally, plant managers, technical operators are keen to save energy. Energy efficiency, in my opinion, is, let's say, a little bit more complex concept with respect to save energy, because it needs organic view of the production cycle in order to highlight the bottlenecks, the point where energy is mostly, I would say, is wasted, and sometimes trying to be energy efficiency in different processes separately does not lead to an overall energy efficiency. But this is so the second question is, there is also another topic that is implementing energy efficiency, crossing the boundaries of the company. So one boundary that I already mentioned is crossing the boundary among the different processes, but also crossing the boundaries of the factory and trying to implement energy efficiency as a synergy among the sector, and this is the topic of the second question. And your suggestion, the third question, is a little bit more direct and easier. So which further skills are needed for implementing industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency? I saw here that you are putting some interesting idea on the dashboard. I also, let's say, want to have your comments, also live comments, instead, if you have this, because we will use also discussion on this, if some of you has comments on this. There is one point the suggestion are all really very relevant. One of the sticky notes on the first question is hitting me particularly because it deals with the clear characterization of the residues that we have in our industry. That's a very, very hot topic, at least in my personal research field, because a careful and punctual characterization of residues is a key to reuse them at best. There are ongoing research projects, for instance, in the steel sector, which is the sector where I operate more, and which deal with this development also on of specific tools, also, let's say, digital tools to characterize residues. I think that this is really a hot point, because the processes are sensitive to the, let's say, to the quality and not also to the quantity of the inputs. And if you want to use, let's say, a byproduct, a residue from one industrial cycle as an input, as in partial replacement of primary raw material in another process, you need to characterize it very well. I have some experience in the steel sector. I wonder whether someone in the audience has experience also in other sector. I would welcome if some of you has something to add on this point. I don't know whether some in the audience have some comments on this.
Yes, Valentina, Anna speaking. I was the one who posted that, and in the mining industry, we have, I will talk about it later in the presentations, but we have a hot topic there also, because the variety of waste is very, very high.
Yes, you are right, and it's really a hot topic. I think that accurate characterization is really, I would say, a key for implementing industrial symbiosis, and also for optimal valorization, and because you can have different material, and some part of this material can have a highly added value, but if you mix it up with, let's say, other material of lower value, at the end you have a mountain of residues with very few possibility of reuse, and also a lower value, and so there is also an economic cost, an economic value that is lower. So I fully agree. I'm looking at the sticky notes. They are really, really interesting. I notice also, I have to apologize because I cannot do, I cannot be apart from my technical background. So I noticed that there is one comment on energy savings that is related to the good control and suitable data acquisition. So, which is in practice highlighting the importance of, let's say, at least to digital tools for energy management in improving energy efficiency. I fully support this this vision, and as I said, this is a view from my experience, which is in a very energy intensive sector, that is the steel sector. But I think that all the Spire sectors are quite energy intensive. So if some of you can provide a comment, not necessarily the person who
Valentina,
goes.
it's less than 1 minute now that we will be sent back to the plenary session.
Okay, so I thank you very much, all of you, for this suggestion. So we will come back to the plenary session, but I pray the Clara to keep all this dashboard for the.
Keep it open.
Yes, thank you, and because this will be very useful, I really thank you all for your comments, and we will go to the wrap up. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much for your interesting comments.